Breaking news coming in. Times Now has accessed the interim bail order when it comes to the case of Arvind Kejriwal, and this order goes on to say that this case is not an exception when it comes to interim bail. Quoting from what the order says, power to grant interim bail is commonly exercised in a number of cases. Interim bail is granted in the fact of each case. This case is not an exception. We have Priyank joining us live. We've accessed the order copy, Priyank, when it comes to the interim bail that has been granted to Arvind Kejriwal. Take us through what happened in the courtroom today, because right now the Supreme Court is saying that this case is not an exception and interim bail is commonly exercised in many cases.
Yeah, certainly, Sagarika. And since the Apex Court has already granted bail, entry bail to Arvind Kejriwal, the big information which our viewers need to understand is that Arvind Kejriwal will be coming out from the Tihar jail today itself, because the order copy says that the lower court is not actually needed to be contacted by the lawyers, because in general scenario, if any accused gets bail from the Apex Court, then the lawyers have to move to the lower court and they have to satisfy the bail, bail formalities, and it has to be passed from the lower court, and that generally takes time. But taking the previous precedents, the legal team of Aam Aadmi Party had already moved to the Apex Court, citing the previous order. So now the superintendent of the jail need to be satisfied with 50,000 surety of the bail amount, which need to be furnished by the two of the members. And then Arvind Kejriwal will be coming out from the Tihar jail itself.
Stay with us, Priyank, because we also have Siddharth joining us, and he has that copy of the interim bail order. Siddharth, take us through the operative parts. What did the Supreme Court say?
So it's just a 8-page order, but quite substantive. Let me in fact go through the operative portion here. It begins from para number 8. It says, it is no gainsaying that general elections to the Lok Sabha is the most significant and an important event this year, as it should be in a national election year. Between 650 to 700 million voters out of an electorate of about 970 million will be casting their votes to elect the government of this country for the next 5 years. General elections supply the vis viva to a democracy. Given the prodigious importance, we reject the argument raised on behalf of the prosecution, which is the ED in this case, that grant of interim bail or release on this account would be giving premium of placing the politicians in a benefic position compared to ordinary citizens. While examining the question of grant of interim bail or release, the courts always take into consideration the peculiarities associated with the person in question and the surrounding circumstances. In fact, to ignore the same would be iniquitous and wrong. And then, of course, the court proceeds in paras 10, 11 and 12, 13 and 12 and 13 about the various precedents that have been set in the past by various courts of law, be it the higher courts or the Supreme Court, where interim bail has actually been granted based on certain peculiar specific situations germane to that particular case. It also says towards the end a series of conditions that have now been attached basically to Kejriwal's interim bail. I'll just take you through those very quickly. He'll be furnishing his bail bonds in the sum of 50,000 with one surety. He shall not visit the office of the Chief Minister and the Delhi Secretariat. He shall be bound by the statement made on his behalf that he shall not sign official files unless it is required and necessary for obtaining clearance or approval of the LG. He will not make any comment with regard to his role in the present case. That's important. And he will not interact with any of the witnesses or have any access to any official files connected with the Liquorgate matter. So those are the conditions attached to his bail as well.
Right. We'll have to take a short break here on Times Now, but we'll be back and we'll keep a razor-sharp focus on that story. Stay with us.